Doggy dinner. You'd think that one of the greatest minds of ancient Greece, someone who spent his life pondering the meaning of existence, might bow out with a bit more dignity. But no, not Heraclitus. The man who mused deeply about the universe failed to apply the same wisdom to his own health. When he developed dropsy, a condition where fluid builds up in the body due to issues with the heart, liver, or lungs, he devised his own unique cure. Instead of consulting a healer, Heraclitus believed that burying himself in a steaming pile of cow manure would draw the moisture out of his body through heat. Sadly, things didn't go as planned. Not only did he get stuck in the dung heap, but he also became dinner for a pack of stray dogs. Apparently, they weren't too picky, even with all that philosophical seasoning. Moral of the story? If your treatment plan starts with step 1, find a huge pile of poop, it might be time to get a second opinion. The bulletproof pillow plan. Everyone's made up a ridiculous excuse to get out of something. I'm sick, my dog ate my homework, or the classic, it's not a hangover, I swear. But one man in Turkey took excuse-making to a whole new and deadly level in July 2019. Zafer Kuzu had been sentenced to community service for assault. But instead of just showing up and getting it over with, he and his genius friends cooked up a brilliant escape plan. Kuzu strapped a bunch of pillows to his back and asked a buddy to shoot him with a shotgun. The idea? Get injured just enough to skip the punishment. The result? He died instantly. Oh, and the friend didn't walk away clean either. He caught some of the blast himself and was later charged with murder. Moral of the story? If your master plan involves the phrase, shoot me, but gently, it's probably not going to end well. Hold it in, die like a gentleman. Let this be your reminder. When nature calls, answer. That advice is practically universal, carved in stone, written in sacred texts, probably even whispered by angels. But in the 17th century, one man dared to defy it, fatally. Danish astronomer and alchemist Tycho Brahe is remembered for his groundbreaking celestial observations. But, ironically, it was something far more down-to-earth, his bladder, that would become his final frontier. During a lavish banquet, Tycho suddenly felt the urge to relieve himself. But in true nobleman fashion, he convinced himself that excusing oneself to use the primitive toilet, basically a hole in the floor, would be a vulgar breach of etiquette. So he sat, for hours, in agony. By the time he made it home, he could only urinate in painful, brief spurts. Days later, he died. Cause of death? A ruptured bladder from extreme urine retention. Lesson learned? Forget the fork placement and fancy manners. If you gotta go, just go. Dying of dignity is still dying. Going out with a bang. In May 2019, a man discovered that his basement was crawling with bugs. Instead of calling an exterminator like a normal person, he channeled his inner action hero and decided to handle the problem himself, with a propane torch. Like a low-budget dragon with asthma, he marched into the infestation zone, flamethrower in hand, blasting away at anything that skittered. Unfortunately, the bugs weren't the only thing that caught fire. The basement was packed with flammable materials, and unsurprisingly, they went up like a fireworks show in a cardboard factory. With little room to maneuver, our amateur exterminator couldn't escape. He burned to death, and the resulting fire caused over $60,000 in property damage. But hey, at least the bugs didn't make it out either. Victory? The Gator Challenge, Texas edition. Sometimes people make foolish choices out of ignorance. Other times, it's pure arrogance in full swing. In 2015, a Texas marina posted clear warning signs after spotting an alligator nearby. But one local man decided those rules weren't made for him. When a marina employee cautioned him to stay out of the water, the man looked him dead in the eye and declared, "Fuck on the alligator," before diving in. Seconds later, he was screaming for help. Moments after that, he was floating motionless. The gator, as it turns out, wasn't in the mood for trash talk. Moral of the story: if you're going to challenge a prehistoric killing machine, maybe don't lead with profanity. Like and subscribe. See you in the next video.